Hi, good morning and welcome to God's Grace for Single Mothers. I am still fiddling and struggling with the controls. Um, so bear with me. But I would like to share a prayer and just welcome you all to tell you that God's grace is there for you, single parents, and your communities. And through this time together, we will be learning how. Today's topic is why single mothers and not single parents. Traditionally, if you look in the studies about families and the studies about single parenting, you tend to find that the struggles are focused on single moms. However, it's not in a positive way, so much so that I think those studies have been read in the wrong way to see single parenting as a stigma, not so much as single parent all on its own, but single mothering. To help you understand that, I'm going to ask if you can remember a time in your life when you encountered a single father, and also a time in your life when you encountered a single mother. You will find out, if you can remember, that there is a tendency to look down on single mothers. Single fathers don't have that same experience. Society kind of flocks to and upholds and venerates a single parent who's a man versus a single parent who's a woman. This has negative connotations and negative consequences because we're not able to respond to the needs and the circumstances of a single mother appropriately. We end up in a situation where more judging her and her children rather than affirming them and acknowledging what the struggles are. Even when the struggles are acknowledged for single mothers, they're also done not in a positive light, but as a way to say, to bring some kind of reproach on her, or reproach that says there's not a man in your life or your children's life, therefore this is a negative situation. From my experience before I became a single mom and after I became a single mother, what I've found that this interpretation of single parenting as far as it concerns single mothers has been is that it causes us to build a stigma around single parents who are female, hence single mothers, and their children. And this stigma causes us to ostracize them, whether it be in the church, in the workplace, or in the family situation, because all of a sudden we see them as less than. And so the question I want to pose to us today is, why would we accord a different status of honor to a male single parent and a different one to a female single parent? The answers to that are really not hard to find. We got to go back in our society, and we find that our societies tend to value the presence of males more than the presence of females, so that females are not in their own strength, they're not recognized except there is a man by their side. And I say this to say that in the years that I have been a single parent, and prior to that, I know lots of single parents who are women, so single moms, who have done wonderful jobs of raising their children by themselves, whose kids have turned out very well, whose kids have gone on to college and graduated, holding down jobs, and have good families. They're married, therefore also destroying another negative expectation that children from single parents cannot even have a stable adult life, much less a stable family. I want to challenge us as a Christian community that this position towards single mothers is wrong, because both women and men are in God's sight the same. And not only that, the fact that a woman is left bearing the load of raising children alone is not something that they should be despised for, is not something they should be looked down upon for, is not something their children should be stigmatized and negatively labeled as the scum of society for. I think some people watching might be thinking, oh, this doesn't happen in the church. But I will tell you the truth. The first place that I experienced negativity, negative response, negative attitude towards myself as a single parent happened in the church. And it happened from pastors before they found out that I too was a pastor. Because it would have been inconceivable to them that a person who's a single mom could be a pastor. That is a role that is reserved for honorable people in society, and women on their own and not honorable except there is a man in their lives, and also women as mothers and not honorable except there's a man in their lives. So therefore, how could a single parent? There was no expectation. And that tells me on its own that our attitude in the church is deeply biased towards women and towards single mothers. And we cannot call ourselves communities that are responding to the needs of single mothers if we hold them in this place where we look down on them. It takes two people to make a child. Yet it is very funny that society reserves its despising for the single mothers who are there holding fort, and not for the dads, for the absent dads. So I want to challenge you today, as single mom communities, as churches, to do better, to come alongside single mothers by first affirming them as equally worthy of your respect as you accord the men in your communities. And then from there, I want to challenge you to give a single mother the same regard, the same honor that you would give to a single father. At this time, I'm going to take a break and just say goodbye and thank you for tuning in. Jay, I'm going to ask you to stop in next week when I will be sharing with you the difficulties of single parenting. What makes single parenting such a difficult task? Why is it construed in such negative light? And what can we do, both as single parents, as churches and single parent communities, what can we do to make this load lighter? Until then, I want to leave you with this encouragement from Isaiah 54 verse 5, if you're a single mom, that the Lord our God has said, He is our maker and He is our husband. It is true, it does take two to raise children. However, in the absence of a partner, God promises to be our partners. And I ask you to explore what that means until next week when I come back to share with you how to overcome the difficulties of single parenting. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be with you again next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for another live broadcast of God's Grace for Single Mothers. God bless you.